Guess I'm gonna do a probably two-part rant, maybe, on the parties of America. I'm starting with Libertarian. I don't have much to say about Libertarian. I really don't have a problem with the party. It's not a bad idea, you know. More liberties, but you got to realize that, you know, necessities come first. But that's not even what I'm trying to say about the Libertarian Party. I have absolutely no problem with the Libertarian Party whatsoever. I mean, they're usually right-leaning, but sometimes they're left-leaning. I don't understand that. But, okay, you know, they can do whatever they want, you know. My only problem is when they say that they're their own person, which yeah, they are, but when they say that and they don't fall slave to any party, yet if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you automatically fall slave to your party. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it's not like you're independent. What I mean is that if you're a moderate, even like a moderate Republican, or like a moderate Democrat, they say that you're just, you know, brainwashed and go for that party. I'm not all libertarians say this, but pretty much every libertarian I've ever met said this to me. But they don't realize it. If you're going to go by that logic, they're not their own person either, because they're still following the ideals of a party. Because unless you're either independent or apathetic, you're not completely your own person with completely your own ideals. Libertarian party is just a party like the Republican or Democrat Party. It's just not nearly as popular. It's probably the third largest, but that's pretty much all I have to say. Moving on to the second biggest party, I guess, right now. The Republican Party, historically speaking, is pretty much the greatest party. That doesn't really, not nowadays, but I mean, when it was first founded, whether you go by Thomas Jefferson being the original Republican or Abraham Lincoln being the original Republican, I mean, Republicans went a long way. I mean, they're pretty much, what do you want to say, the noble, moral party. And I'm not talking about today's party, but I mean, the Republicans are the ones that, you know, fought against slavery and fought for civil rights. You look at, like, Lincoln, and, I mean, the Republicans during the 40s and 50s, I mean, the first African-American politicians in America were Republicans. You can't blame them for that, because at that time, the Republican Party was more for them than the Democratic Party was, because the Democratic Party, if anything, was against them. But, I mean, the Republican Party was, if you look at it, pretty much everyone would have wanted to be a part of it back then. Now, you know, lately, I don't know, since probably the 60s or 70s, things have been heating up more with it. And around the time of Bush's election, into the Bush years, the Bush administration, everyone lost all faith in the Republican Party, because we had some crooks in the party, and that's actually a pretty good reason to lose faith in it. I mean, the party, like, some people lost faith in the Democratic Party after Clinton. Clinton was a good president, and Bush wasn't really all that good at all, but I mean, everyone thinks of Republicans as either dumb rednecks. Also think of them as crooks, evil, and fascist. The idea of the Republican Party wouldn't let you do that, but I understand there are a lot of, well, bad people a part of the party. Which is, you know, kind of... And that's why I don't have probably a problem if you hate the party because of all its politics. Well, I mean, I kind of do have a problem if you hate the party because of the politicians. I don't hate the Democratic Party because of the... Well, what am I trying to say here? I don't hate the Democratic Party. Well, I kind of do now, but I'll explain that in the next part. Then again, it might sound a little hypocritical. You know what? If you hate the Republican Party, that's on you. Whatever. Just don't hate all people just because they're a Republican. It doesn't mean they're bad. If anything, it just means they're more... Anyway, I think the point of this real Republican rant is that someone was telling me that the Republican Party isn't any more conservative than the Democratic Party. I'm gonna tell you how that's wrong. Okay. Now, yeah, they're pretty much. I mean, for one thing, they don't do anything. They just try to fight off whatever's going on. They're not that conservative at all. But back not too long ago, and even like the party, even still the party platform today. No, I mean the Republican Party is much more conservative than the Democratic Party. The Republican Party, for one thing, it deals with economic conservatism and their physical conservatism. It's conservative in every area except for, I think, economic. But other than that, it's just completely a conservative party. And if you don't believe that, look at the overall platforms. The Democratic Party wants the government to be more involved in everything, and the Republican Party wants the government to stay out of everything. And you think, especially this has to go out to my friend Eric out there, he just seems to, I mean, listen, I mean, the idea of conservatism is smaller government for the government to stay out of things. The Republicans want the government to stay out of things. Politicians are pretty much all the same. But I'm talking about people that just support the party. Just normal, everyday people. That's conservative. Okay? And the idea of Republicans being racist because we're against things like affirmative action. Look, alright? Racism is never going to go away. But it's not going to help by pointing out that you're different. That's not going to help at all. The Democrats... No, I'm not going to mention Democrats anymore. But the Republicans they want to be colorblind. They're all racists in the party, but they want to be colorblind. They're colorblind. That's the party platform. You look at Michael Steele, African-American man. He used to be Maryland's lieutenant governor, ran for governor. He lost to Martin O'Malley, who I don't care for. But Michael Steele, it's very, I must say, intelligent man. Anyway, I mean, look, there's no one alive today. No one alive today that lived in slavery, during slavery. No one. Now, if there were people today that lived during slavery and were slaves, then by all means, they should get an apology. By all means, they should get something. But just because your ancestors were enslaved doesn't mean you deserve special rights and you should be treated better than everyone else. Now, that also means you shouldn't be treated worse than everyone else. You should be given the same opportunities, the same chances to succeed as everyone else. I think it doesn't matter if you're white or black, a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Everyone should be given the equal opportunity. I'm not saying that that doesn't mean that Republicans want the white man to be more successful than any other minority or anything like that. That doesn't mean that. That means we want everyone to be equal. Equality. Now, the Republican Party nowadays is just kind of switched place with the Democratic Party, just kind of stupid and doesn't do anything. And it just sits there, but it should do something.